right, all you crazy stunners out there who's used the flashing lights in the form of cameras, ambulances, or cop cars? Welcome back to Under the Radar. And now it's time for us to see which one of you crazy stunners out there is going to experience one or all of the above of those three lights we just mentioned, as we take a special leap into another edition of the wild world of stunts. And the first stunt that we have up comes from the stunner Ash_1, or according to what the maestro says, Chris Stallion, nice name by the way, with his stunt Ash1. And the person who's operating this car goes by the name of Ash, which was probably the reason why we got the stunner's name wrong in the first place. But during this said stunt, he would turn around to reveal a giant oversized Evel Knievel ramp as he tries to ride the Batmobile to do a successful loop-de-loop. But instead, the stunt would go horribly wrong, and he would spin like the perfect throw thrown by an NFL quarterback, and would just watch as the Batmobile would corkscrew throughout the air, heading directly toward the Los Santos freeway, for the car to not only land upside down, but then ricochet off the side of the median, fly right into the overpass, and go right on both of his wheels, or all four wheels in this case, maestro, like what? Like a glove! For him to just drive away like nothing happened, and then do a power slide and a cool pose before the camera would turn off. Now, the PR department and the doctors, who are our professional medical staff here for the Wild World of Stunts, said the only reason he didn't get injured during all of this is because he installed a roll cage inside of the Batmobile itself. See, if it hadn't been the original Batmobile with the, the seat belts and everything else that it has, he would have gotten seriously hurt because those things haven't been changed in well over 20 years. So yeah, installing a roll cage and a new pair of seat belts saved this man's life. Not so much the other person who got T-boned by him when the car came swooping down the plane underneath that overpass and actually got hit sideways. He has a concussion and a broken shoulder and a right arm. Ugh. And the next stunt that we have up of rocket proportions comes from the stunner Twist Gamer 06YT with his said stunt GTA 5 Thug Life number 2. And in this said stunt, the stunner that goes by the name of Ace, which we might as well call the Ace of Rockets at this point, would decide to take his makeshift Speed Racer / Batmobile classic car on the highway to lift it off into the air and do a makeshift, half a gyroscope spin into the air, landing directly on the beach of Los Santos with all four wheels hitting the ground and scaring the beach goers who are just relaxing on the beach, minding their own business like, what, maestro? Like a glove! For him to just get out of the car and do a cool pose after he was done. Nice! Real nice! I'm really liking the direction of all of these crazy stunts involving rockets, and the maestro and the PR department along with the doctors are all giving it a 10, and I'm gonna join in with them. Cause anybody who can pull off a half gyroscope at that height and still land on all four wheels, very impressive. Especially with the velocity and the speed he was going, and the fact that he wasn't wearing the seatbelt. Once again, very impressive. And the next stunt that we have up comes from the stunner Fox Live XP, nice name by the way, with their said stunt, Crazy Taxi. And the stunner, which name is Michael because it's Michael DeSanta here trying to become a cab driver undercover to avoid any attention that he's a bank robber, would decide to go and try to pick up a fare, but instead would do it in the craziest way he knows how, by actually driving off the side of the cliff, doing a barrel roll, landing on all four wheels like a glove, and then would try to double dip in the stunt by doing another barrel roll over another median, only for his car to lose all its doors, land upside down, for him to spin it right side up, find where the cab fare was, and do a classic Pete Townsend power slide, almost hitting the fare, for the woman to just say, "You know what? I'll just walk." Better yet, run into open traffic to get away from that crazy cab driver. And for anybody out there who's wondering what happened to the fare after she ran off into open traffic, well, she would try out to be a Dallas cheerleader according to the security cameras that was around town, and would fly about a good 30 feet in the air only to land on her neck. Ow! Ouch! And apparently, according to the doctors, she broke several ribs, her legs, and her neck in the process. So yeah, I think she had a better chance driving with the cab with no doors than running into open traffic, getting hit by an action wagon and a truck. Yeah, I would have took my chances with the cab instead of Los Angeles traffic. Or Los Santos traffic, excuse me. And the next stunt that we have up, besides people becoming cheerleaders thanks to open traffic, comes from the stunner Big Smoker 14 with his said stunt, Project 1G. And in this said stunt that involves a cargo bob, an SUV, and Dave here, who decides to be the guinea pig for this makeshift drop into the Grand Sonora Desert lake that's out there, decided to actually tell the guy who's flying the helicopter, whose name was Mike, "Come on, man, let's go! Drop the car! Come on, I'm giving you the green light!" Only for the car to do several front flips before landing in the water while he jumps out, and at the same time, the car would explode and he would land back first from about a good, 300 feet from the water. Back first. And for those who haven't taken science class, at a certain height, if you land on water like that, with that velocity, it's about as good as landing on concrete. And what was those effects of concrete-like proportions there, Doc? Well, according to him, he broke his back, his shoulder, and apparently ended up with a concussion upon impact, even though the car exploded before it hit the ground, which was weird. Oh, and according to the maestro, apparently they stuck dynamite on the car so it would explode. Don't you mean C4? He says whatever, and I agree. And the last but not least stunt that we have up for this week, folks, comes from the creator, Jang Wen-jon, with their said stunt, Car. A simple name for a not-so-simple stunt, folks, and here's the reason why I'm gonna say that. Because this guy, who goes by the name of Wang Shun, decided to drive his very expensive sports car during a transformation race gone wrong. Because while he was driving, making his way to that next checkpoint that would transform his car into an Oppressor Mark II, he would go ahead up into the air and, I'm being corrected by the maestro, it was an Oppressor Mark I. And I got a feeling that was his problem in the first place, because he didn't activate his jets just when he was heading up that road. Just steadily climbing up while cars was passing him by, and just before he hit that last booster, he would hit his jet boosters, go into the air, and then would try to make the leap of fate to the next checkpoint, only for his said jet bike to just crap out on him and go right diving toward the ground. And just when it dived toward the ground, he would activate his thrusters. right when it was going toward the ground. So just like a comet making its way to Earth, just zipping his way right down toward the ground, and as hard as he possibly could right into the river, slam right into the ground, so hard, folks, that he would land right directly in a rock that was underneath the ground and have his neck jolt the second he hit the ground under the water. Now, I don't know what glug 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 means during the video, but I'm pretty sure it translates to ow my neck, because according to the doctors, yeah, he broke every single bone in his spine upon impact and ended up with a fractured skull along with it. So, I got a feeling those air bubbles came from out of his head. Ooh, that sucks. That really sucks. But the moral of the story here, folks, is when you don't got the jump and you decide to activate your thrusters when your bike heads right down toward the ground, try the pull up so you don't end up like this guy in the hospital. Really, he got himself nearly killed from this stunt, but instead is resting wonderfully at the hospital in Los Santos like a mummy. And if you guys want to check out any other crazy and zany stunts of people getting themselves maimed for unnecessary fame, you can head on over to the socialclub.rockstargames page, only known as socialclub.rockstargames.com, and click on that video button to check out a whole bunch of crazy and deranged stunners willing to get themselves hurt just 1 week before Hanukkah, Christmas, and Kwanzaa, only for them to spend it in an ER room or the ICU, depending on how busy it is during the holidays. And I guess with that said, folks, we might as well head back to this music, and when we return, we'll be back with the GTA Online Top 5 Tracks of the Week right after this. So don't go anywhere just yet, folks, and stay tuned.